Hello, so last week in our hypnobirthing film we talked about sleep breathing. Today I'm going to describe to you what the birthing muscles are doing during birthing. So I always talk about birthing in a way that I find people can really understand, which is muscle activity, because at some point in our lives most people have done some kind of muscle activity, i.e. we've done a strenuous walk, or we might have gone out on a bike, or we've done a run or something like that. Yeah, that's muscle activity, and the same in birthing. All birthing is really, and yeah, there's a bit more to it, which is why you're watching these videos, but it is just a muscle working. It's a muscle for first-time mums that you've never felt before. So it feels odd, it feels strange. It's a sensation you haven't come across for the first time in your 20, 30 or 40 years. So it can feel a little bit strange to engage with, but that's all it is. It's just a muscle. So the uterus muscle obviously is here, and it encompasses obviously your baby. Your baby sits within it. The uterus muscle has 3 different muscle layers. So the muscle layer at the top is called longitudinal muscle layers. So we have these longitudinal muscle layers. Longitudinal means going from up to down, yeah? So longitudinal muscle fibers that go all the way around in this direction. So the layer is longitudinal. The inner layer is the circular muscle fibers, all right? So we have the muscle fibers go in a circular direction, 360 degrees, obviously, all the way around, all right? And then the layer in between kind of knits the two together. So 3 different muscle layers. What we're concerned about is the outer and the inner, because they're the muscle layers that really make the difference. So we have the longitudinal muscle fibers all the way around in this direction, and as I said, the circular down here. Now, down at the bottom here, at the base, these circular muscle fibers are really thick. And the reason why they're really thick is because as you get more pregnant, you want to hold your baby in, all right? So they're nice and thick down here. What happens during labour is these longitudinal muscle fibers all the way around, obviously 360 degrees around this hole, and obviously the hole is the cervix down here. What happens is the longitudinal muscle fibers pull the inner circular muscle fibers like this, and then they release. All right, so they do this, they pull all the way around 360 degrees. If you imagine that your cervix is made out of blue tack, all right, so that's quite an easy way of thinking about it. So what's happening when these longitudinal muscle fibers pull the cervix all the way around, these muscle fibers, the cervix here, what they're doing is they're thinning. As these longitudinal muscle fibers pull them, they're thinning. And it's that thinning of the muscle fibers that creates the opening of the cervix up to about 9-10 centimeters, that kind of thing. So longitudinal muscle fibers pulling, and each time they're pulling like this, then they are thinning the muscle fibers down here at the base of the cervix in order to create the opening of the cervix. And that is kind of all labour is, if you want to really look at it in its simplest form. It is just a muscle that works super effectively for you. Unfortunately, what happens is the kind of brain gets in the way and the mind starts telling us, oh, what is this? Or like I did in my first labour when I didn't do any hypnobirthing or anything, ow, that's really painful. I'm not saying that birth isn't challenging. Birth does become challenging towards the end, but there are so many tools and techniques that can help you. That's what we're here for. That's what I'm here for. This is what hypnobirthing is here for, in order to really control the mind and be prepared for birthing and understand birth. Just understanding what is happening with your muscles enables you to be able to be a bit more involved with what's going on down there rather than scared of what's going on down there. And there are some lovely breathing techniques that we can do during our contractions, or in hypnobirthing we call them surges because it's a muscle surging. So there are some lovely breathing techniques that we can do to really help that process. We'll come back to that next week. Hope to see you then. All right, bye.